Hi folks, this is Jason Moore here with MTGOacademy.com, and I'd like to welcome you to the latest installment of No! Guys, they didn't ban Peregrine Drake. They didn't do it. I don't know what to say. You don't know what to say. But today we're playing with Peregrine Drake in Classic Pauper. And this is going to be in the two-man queues. Picking a deck in this day and age, something I like to call the Peregrine Drake era, is tricky because I always like to play fair, slow, control-y, do nothing kind of decks. And Peregrine Drake makes that impossible. You can't do that unless you play Peregrine Drake. And so that's what we're going to do today. This is an Izzet control deck. I'm sure you're familiar with something similar to this because it is the bane of many Pauper players' existence right now. Izzet Drake, or Izzet control with Peregrine Drake, or Blue-Red Drake, whatever you want to call it. This is my current list, and I think it needs maybe more combo pieces, but we'll get into that in a second. Let's just start with the mana base, why the heck not. I'm playing 11 tapped lands, including 4 of these duels, Izzet Guildgate, Swiftwater Cliffs. I'm playing 1 of each fetch, Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse, and I have Mortuary Mire, which we can use to get back combo pieces, and we can Ghostly Flicker it a bunch to get back anything we want. And then I'm playing a lot of blue sources. I love having 18 blue sources for my decks that play Counterspell. And I get early double blue mana very consistently with that. Not 100% consistency, but a decent amount. And again, that's 18 sources. So we're going to have, this should be 8 mountains, or 8 islands here. And the rest mountains. I've got it down to a science. I've got it down to a specific number, 18. So keep that in mind, guys, when you're brewing and building. Okay, so it's a control deck. We want to stay alive in stage 1. We do that with Flame Slash, Lightning Bolt, and I've got a single Fire Bolt. It would be cool to have more, to have other specialty spells like Magma Spray, but it's hard to balance the control elements with the combo elements in this deck. So I'm not sure what the right mix is. I also have Harvest Pyre. That's usually for bigger creatures. I really like this card. Just as a one-of, though, you don't want to get screwed early in the game with it being a do-nothing or anything like that. Our Counter Magic Suite is pretty light. We just want to keep the opponent down until we can get our kill conditions set up. So it's 4 Counterspell, 2 Dispel. Then we have a whole draw suite, topping off at Mole Drifter, middling at Seagate Oracle, and then I'm playing AK, Accumulated Knowledge. It is such a powerful, robust draw spell that I definitely recommend it if you're playing blue control. Now, one thing that does hurt this card a little bit is it takes a lot of the splash hate from opponents because they're going to want to hit our graveyard to disrupt the combo. So if they're hitting our graveyard, then Accumulated Knowledge gets worse. So that is one reason maybe not to play it, but the upsides are really there. This can win you the game. If you draw 3 of these, you're basically in a real good spot to win just on sheer resource advantage. And for Preordain, I always play Preordain. Always. Okay, guys, if you don't know what the combo is for some reason, Peregrine Drake untaps 5 lands. You know, this list used to have Boilerworks. I'm not sure why I'm not playing Boilerworks. That is kind of silly. Boilerworks would speed up the combo. I should be playing it in some number, so I'm just going to say my bad on that, and we're not playing Boilerworks today. Definitely should be playing some number. I wouldn't advocate 3 or 4. I'd probably play 1 or 2. But anyway, it untaps 5 lands when it enters the battlefield. Ghostly Flicker can bounce Peregrine Drake and another creature and return it to the battlefield. After that, we use Archaeomancer as well. When he enters the battlefield, he gets back the Flicker. So the Flicker is going to get us to continue to untap lands and go infinite. That is how we win here. So that is what really makes this such a dangerous combination. It's an infinite combo, and you really only need that one turn to go off and win with it. Once we get as much resources as we want, as much mana, we can just Rolling Thunder for the win. So that's how that deck works. That is a combo that supplements the overall control plan, or vice versa, the control plan that has a combo finish. Now let's go ahead and quickly look at the sideboard, because I'm sure you guys don't want to stick around with this explanation too long. Again, this deck is still legal in Pauper. So we've got 3 Pyroblast and Hydroblast. That's really going to go into the strategy of blue-red. These are very versatile and powerful, cheap cards, cheap in mana cost, that is, that are going to have a lot of applications across the format. Electrickery is going to hit swarm strategies and hopefully hit hexproof creatures. I'm also supplementing those with a Sandstorm that can hopefully hit hexproof creatures. We need to get Threshold, which might not be so easy in this deck. I guess we'll have to find out. It's just something I want to test and see if it's any good. Macabre and Spellbomb for the mirror match. I don't even know if that's the best way to fight the mirror match. Never had that come up, and I hope it never does. I've got Spreading Seas for Tron, Hexproof, and Burn. Anybody you want to slow down and you don't have a lot of interaction with in your main deck, you might want to consider playing this. But specifically those 3 decks. Don't just board it in wantonly. And Deprive for control mirrors. And basically that's it. Anybody who's going to play a big creature or spell that you otherwise have a problem dealing with, you may also want to bring this in. Alright guys, Peregrine Drake time! Alright folks, welcome to the very first round here of Pauper 2-mans with Izzet Drake. We've finally sold out and we're doing it. I think we got a mulligan because we don't have a red source and we have our one of kind of screwing things up for us here. I think we're going to mulligan this. And this at least has a preordain, so I think we'll keep. And we don't want a 5-drop in a 1-land hand, so wish the opponent good luck. Looks like might be something along the lines of Affinity. Also might be, yeah, okay, really looking like Affinity, but a slow Affinity draw, which might help us out. I'm still going to get a blue source instead of going with the Flame Slash, so I can preordain into some more lands, and we really need to find some more lands now. 1 island, 2 islands. I think I'll just keep one of the islands. We want a red source too, and between these 2 lands we can draw about 3 cards coming up, or leave up Counterspell. We'll see what happens. Wow, nothing from the opponent. And that is a great draw. So we're kind of squared away now since the opponent has gone pretty slow. 4 mana. Maybe this is not Affinity. Maybe this is something else. No, this is Mirror Enforcer? I don't know what's going on. Yep, Prism Resolves for sure. Not a concern to me. So he's got to have like a lot of Galv Blasts in hand or something for him to have kept this. Definitely gonna... Actually, we don't need to counter that. We can Flame Slash that. It's been a while since I've been playing Counterspell and Flame Slash side by side, so forgive me for almost blowing it. So we'll just Flame Slash and leave up Counterspell and the second AK. We have 2... We actually have a lot of the combo here. So we'll wait and see what happens after that. Carapace Forger, I'm just going to go ahead and counter. Don't currently have an answer to it. If he is baiting for something else, we'll just have to live with it. Again, we'll just pass. He's got at least 1 or 2 Galv Blasts in hand. He might also be flooded. We will counterspell once again. And that is successful. So now I think I'm okay drawing 2 here. There's a chance that we find a Karoo land, so I think we want to look for that. And we'll set up Peregrine Drake for next turn, even though I think it's going to get blasted. We might not even play it. I don't know that it's necessary to play it. Particularly now, we also have the Ghostly Flicker to protect. So a lot of things we can do here. We could just play Peregrine Drake and get it, and it's gonna get sniped. I think we can actually hold off on the Peregrine Drake. Let's try and find a counter spell. We don't need the second flicker. Seagate Oracle's interesting. I think I'll top that. Let me make sure this is going to resolve. It does, effortlessly. We'll just slam the Seagate Oracle. It might eat a Galv Blast, which can set up some things for Peregrine Drake. I'll take the Mole Drifter now. And the reason this game is going so well for us is because his hand has been incredibly slow. But now he's got a Tog, which may be a problem. Okay, we have the counter spell now. So I think it's just in our bet. 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and cast this. It's probably going to get hit while we're sitting here. But then we'll leave up. Yeah, he's just... Wow. Kind of shocked. So now I think we just pass. Ghostly Flicker adds 2 mana for me. Actually, I can draw 3, huh? Yeah, we want to draw 3 here. Bolt's preordained. 3, 5, 7, 9. Bolt doesn't really hurt his guy, so I guess we'll preordain, try and set up a kill. Another counterspell and another bolt. Yeah, 2 bolts. I mean, I'm not sure that 2 bolts does anything. So maybe I'll bottom that. I think we're trying to get a kill condition, but we do want the other counterspell. So we've seen a ton of cards in comparison to the opponent not attacking. Yeah, I guess he's down. I'm surprised he didn't do that while we were tapped out. So this, I think we actually have to counter. 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17. We're at 22. If he has Fling... 13, 15, 17, 19, 20. He would need 2 more. Alright, we're actually going to let that go. Don't exactly have a plan for... So this is 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. Oh, he's just going to go for the Fling. That's silly. And it doesn't kill. So this is even sillier. Maybe he just has a read that we don't have another counter. We have all 4. Well, certainly got to counter that, don't we? We do take 11. This is just not a good play in my book. Yeah, I think I bolt and I leave up Flicker to gain 2 life and counterspell. So he can either lose a land or lose his guy. I think he basically punted there. Yeah. Okay, he was just a little too anxious. not sure what we cut. Wow, he just conceded the whole match. I'm sorry about that, guys, but I guess our opponent just was really frustrated and didn't want to play a match against us. But this is kind of what Pauper is right now. Is you got to play busted stuff. Affinity was plenty busted, and he just had a slow draw. He would have been in that match, to be honest. Again, sorry it's not a full match, but I can't control what the opponents want or don't want to play against. I don't necessarily blame him, but it is what it is, as they say. Thanks for watching. We're back for some more Classic Pauper. We've won the die roll. We will play first. And this is a keepable hand. We don't have red, but we can certainly find it. Don't know what the opponent's playing, but I'm still going to use one of the preordains to try and set something up. Because we have a second one. We know we at least want a red producing land. More card draw is fine too, so I'll bottom and top. And that'll be that. Probably leave up counterspell next turn, and the turn following. Okay. Looks like Tortured Existence. Could end up being something else, but now we at least have protection against the card Tortured Existence. He's just gonna pass. We're just gonna pass. Nothing too exciting happening yet. Could be Stinkweed Imp on the horizon. I will let that resolve. Chittering Rats. So I'm going to sack first. I'm going to let it resolve. So this is actually, I think, mono black control splashing green. I'm going to AK, and then I have up a bolt for the opponent. So we got another AK. Just bolt now. Mortuary Mire does nothing, but that's okay. And this will play out a lot like a typical blue-red control versus mono-black. The only difference is we probably have to wait for him to... Let's go ahead and counter it. We're probably going to have to wait for him to tap out so that we can go for a combo or something. I'd love to hit a land this turn. Yeah, so... that's fine. I think we'll just chill here. We're going to see a lot of cards, so even though we missed the land drop, I think we'll still be okay. That's fine. Let that resolve. I'm curious what the green's for. Sometimes they play Wicker Bow Elder and Pulse of Marasa. So I just get to draw 2 here. Not a terrible gig. AK is just so good. I mean, it's really good, guys. You just leapfrog ahead of whatever the opponent's doing. And I still have all these preordains to cast to find more draw. So it's hard for him to beat me on raw card advantage, especially I have so much interaction too. So if this is anything that I can kill with Flame Slash, you best believe that's what's going to happen. Yep, not a problem. It's F4 now. Okay. Well, I could cast that, but there's no way in heck I'm going to. We'll do that, then we'll preordain. I think I'll top. I don't mind having the land either. Oh, we're drawing all the counter spells all the time. It's pretty disgusting. 3, 6, so we're 1 land away from the best play, Muldrifter with counterspell backup. He's sitting on a bunch of removal, I bet. Which is going to make things kind of interesting. I could leave up double counterspell, but I'll put my shields down for 1 turn. I want both cards. Top. Draw 3. I could do that now. And not have to discard. So, yeah, I feel fine with that. And we hit our lands. Man, light years ahead. The only concern I have is not being able to pull off the combo because he'll be sitting on too much removal. But I think we're probably fine. This is another Gary. We don't give a darn. And I want to save my Harvest Pyre for a Gurmag Angler. So I'm not going to use it. And for now, we'll just burn and pass. Yeah, burn and pass. That's correct. We also want to keep our eyes on Pulse of Marasa coming down. Now he has nothing to do. Alright, so let's just go ahead and hopefully hit a land off of this. But if we don't, we're eating a removal spell. We'll see what happens. Hopefully hitting a land. Yeah, he's just going to kill that. It could be the case that we want to start countering removal like we have done in the past. Oh. Well, really don't know what to... I guess I'll pitch the Bolt. I have 3 counter spells. I may just unload Peregrine Drakes on them. I'm really not sure. We may have to. Or we can continue to soak up removal with Mull Drifter, but the problem with that is we're going to have to... I think we just unload and hope he doesn't kill everything. I can find a Ghostly Flicker for Mortuary Mire, so that's at least something. Probably has like Victim of Night here. I really wish that would stop happening. I have Counterspell, so I'm not sure how many instant speed answers he's really going to have, so I'm going to at least throw the Counterspell down. Now, he may have a ton. What do we know? Okay, he had both. So now I don't necessarily have to play the other Drake. I think I can probably just hold. And the reason being, we don't have to discard now. If I just untap, or I just play my guys, he now just casts Chainer's Edict on me or something. So ideally I'd like to just get to a place where... Okay. So we can definitely cast this. Because we're going to hit our land drop, guaranteed. Wow, more instant speed removal. Yeah, I think I'm going to let it resolve. I think we're just all in on combo, basically. Okay. I mean, he's clearly got a lot of removal. Alright, so now we kind of have a combo, but we don't have a card drawer to loop it, and we don't have the Rolling Thunder in our hand. So I'm gonna hold off, hopefully long enough for us to leave up sufficient counter magic. I think we just need one untapped land to do that. I don't think we care about this guy. We can just Flame Slash ya. And here again, we will need to hit a a land. Is this our last Mole Drifter? 1, 2. No, this is only number 3. He has another instant speed removal spell. Yeah, I'm still gonna let it happen. We still have more Mole Drifters, Seagate Oracles. There's a lot we can still do, so. And the more Disfigures he uses on them, the safer my Archaeomancers are gonna be. So now we have double Counterspell backing up our stuff. I still want a card draw creature, so it's gonna be a little tricky pulling all of this off. But we can make infinite mana. Oops. Why does that keep happening? It's very annoying. I think we just have to preordain here. I can Ghostly Flicker the Mortuary Mire. Maybe I do that on his end step. See how that goes. Oh wow. So that's a kill as well. I think I'm going to set it up for next turn though. We don't need to Ghostly Flicker the Mortuary Mire now. We'll have double Counterspell backup. Or at least single. Okay, so we just don't do anything. I think we go for our kill here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. 4, 5. And now I'll just go for, I guess, an AK in case he gets rid of everything I stand for. Alright, this is not going to work for him. Oh, he's just sacking. Alright, this is going to take a long time, but it's not going to take that long. I guess it will take a long time, but it's just how it goes. I don't know exactly what we go for. Maybe just, I'll just get another Counterspell. It's probably correct to get AK, but so now flicker both of these. And I have Counterspell. I have the Rolling Thunder to win. He doesn't know that, but we'll see what happens. Okay, we'll start doing this. And hopefully not timeout. It gets really slow when the combo starts, and I know this is boring to watch, guys, but that's just the way of the world right now. My mouse accuracy is really bad. But I think this is the fastest set of lands we can use on this. Yeah, so when I try to line up my mouse on the mana symbols, it completely overshoots where I'm at. So I kind of have to approximate a little different thing. So we're getting up there. And obviously this is eating up clock, but I'm trying to go fairly quickly here. Without a Karoo, it does take considerable amount of time. But this is how we do it these days. This is how we try and win in Pauper. Missed that stupid one in the middle. I keep clicking on lands. Just give me something here. $16. Maybe I'll try it left to right. Maybe that'll be easier. Okay, that worked pretty well. So I only need that 2 mana of red, so we're getting fairly close here. It is taking a long freaking time, but we do have to be a little concerned about... Oh, shoot. Well, I kind of screwed up, but kind of didn't. We do have to be a little concerned about... We have 3 counter spells, but we do have to be a little concerned about double Pulse of Marasa happening. So I want to get 6 extra mana so I can triple counter spell, basically. Well, I guess he can only double Pulse, right? Technically, he could triple Pulse. So maybe we'll... that's going to require 27 mana or something like that. I mean, this is 23. I'm going to do it 2 more times, though, just so I don't get wrecked. By triple Pulse, we have triple counter spell, so... $23. I think that's actually enough. No, it's not. We'll do 1 more. Last one. 22 plus 5 is 27. Gah! Alright, that's it. We hit OK. Rolling Thunder for 23. And this should be it. It actually only says 25. But we have 4 of these, so should be enough. Alright, that should do it. Boom! Big boom. We win. Alright, game 1. We're going to have to play super fast in the subsequent games. So I don't know what happens after board against this deck. Dispels actually look pretty good because most of his interaction is instant speed. I don't know if we change anything. I mean, I could bring in a Spell Bomb and a Deprive, but that would usually replace Dispels. In this case, I think we want the Dispels, so I think we actually just leave everything as is. I mean, that was pretty solid for us. He could have a way to hit our graveyard pretty hard, but we'll see about that. This matchup looks okay. I mean, we were outclassing him on the attrition side of things, let alone the combo. So that's good. Just need to watch the clock because these games can go long. And now we're seeing a fair deck being played by the opponent coming up against our unfair deck. One thing about his deck is that it's disruptive, so it could be the case that he has enough disruption to actually beat us. That's a little easier said than done, though. He needs to draw the right disruption at the right time. If he's just a couple turns too late, boom, we hit the combo, and that's a wrap. Or, boom, we hit 2 extra AKs, and we undo all the disruption that he had for us. Not saying that we're heavily favored or anything like that. I'm just pointing out some dynamics between disruptive fair deck and a disruptive unfair deck, because we're disrupting him as well. We're playing counter spells, we're playing removal. We're outpacing him with card draw if we have a solid draw. So we're on the draw this time, speaking of draws. And see what gets cooked up here. Alright, perfectly reasonable hand. So the Dispel, not amazing. The Harvest Pirate, not great early yet, but I think we're still keeping. Yeah, the Firebolt really helps us out, actually. So, nice draw there. And looks like we'll get to Preordain. And we kind of have everything we want. I think it's time to just start hitting more land drops. And, I mean, our hand is a solid mix of stuff here. What did he do? Cycled. Yeah, we can just keep both of these. If he is going to duress me, I'd rather him not take the Flame Slash, so this is just going to keep him off of us for a considerable amount of time. Plus, by our turn 4, we get to potentially preordain for our next land. So he is seeing more cards than us. But, I mean, this hand is just ripping right now. He doesn't even have anything yet. Okay, we may have to Firebolt him. Actually, should I go Shields down for a turn? I think I will. There's a small number of things that could really punish us for going Shields down. He may have those one or more of those things, but do I bottom the cantrip? I think so. I think we just need to find lands and stuff. Mole Drifter, even though we bottomed a Mole Drifter previously. So if he plays Font of Return here, we're really mad. But anything else I think we can basically deal with. If this is just Grey Merchant, then it's not an issue. Okay, so that line of play ended up paying off for us, and there's more where that came from. We didn't even have to firebolt our opponent to stay in the running. Okay, we can deal with their next 6 threats. Sure. I mean, he has a slow draw here, but the disparity in mana efficiency is stunning. We've resolved multiple 1-mana spells. We're about to resolve more. Okay. Chainer's Edict probably not gonna be too much of a factor here. I mean, just nothing's getting through. Nothing's gonna hurt us for a good long while. I'm kind of surprised we've drawn this many answers. Maybe it's just been a while since I've played an Izzet deck. We just have so many answers lined up. Yep. I don't care too much about that. I've got multiple bolts. So I can just use both of these bolts here. We have the Dispel to back up. And we might as well just free the mana Free the mana. He's gonna have to discard also, by the way. I'll save the Firebolt. I don't really want to tap out. Is another Chainer's Edict going? Yeah, yes indeed. Okay, so we are eventually going to need to hit some draw, but for the time being, we're sitting pretty. Yeah, I really see no reason to counter that. It just doesn't seem like it's going to make a huge difference this game. We will hit more lands, so... yeah. Sorry guys, I just don't have a lot to say at the moment. We're just lining up our best answer for the best problem. We don't really have a concern about getting drained for 2. Again, we do want to find some draw like Seagate Oracle or even Muldrifter. I'd be happy to possibly evoke. The other thing that's bad for him about hitting all these Grey Merchants is that he has no devotion right now, so they're really at their weakest point. Is he also going to unearth something? Nihil Spellbomb. I think I'm just going to counter that. I normally don't think I'd want to, but it is an answer to our combo. It kills our Firebolt. It's going to kill Accumulated Knowledge, Mortuary Mire. So for the time being, I think I'm just going to lay that out. Potential problem coming up for us is the fact that we're not hitting any more draw. We hit the 3 Preordains. We bottomed an AK, but had we kept the AK, we'd only be a card deeper into our deck, and so far that is not showing that would really do a ton for us. We've hit basically 1-for-1s in lands, so yep. And he's hitting a lot of draw twos, so that's kind of making the difference right now. Man. Guess I'm going to counter this Chittering Rats. I don't want to get set too far behind here. And even if we were to use the Firebolts on it, we wouldn't be able to leave up counterspell. So I think we're doing that and hoping that our Dispel is going to hit whatever type of recursion he's got. So actually that AK would have drawn us into this AK eventually, a turn earlier, and we would have drawn 2. So that is a really dead draw. So that might have actually been important. Maybe we ended up shuffling also. Okay, so I think I'm going to use the Firebolt on this. If he goes for a Choking Sands, I can flicker. And he actually has more time than us by almost 2 minutes. So maybe I should F4. Try and get through this a little better. Alright, so we'll just Firebolt and again hope for the best. He might have Pulse of Marasa in hand. So what he's representing, we do have Dispel, so not too bad here. Clock is winding down though. I mean, we're getting to a point where we almost need to win this game to pull anything off. Okay, no pulse from him. He has 8 cards, so it'll be a lot of removal, that's for sure. Alright, we need to start hitting these AKs and these Mole Drifters. He's going to discard again. There's an Archaeomancer. I kind of like that. Go for the Counterspell, or even the Preordain, but probably the Counterspell. Now, if he goes for a kill on this, I think I'm going to allow it. However, I do have the Dispel, so... And he doesn't have enough mana for the Chainer's Edict, so maybe I'll just go with the Dispel. Could go with the Flicker, but I'm going to go with the Dispel. I think in this particular build of his deck where he has so much removal, we basically want to have Dispel in our deck for these reasons. Looks like he's going to be holding up even more. Okay, I need to just F4 here. I think he's thinking about casting something, like if he has Reaping the Graves or something, we're totally screwed. I'd probably GG right away. I don't think there's any point in playing that out. Oh wow. Okay, that resolves. So it seems like maybe he doesn't have Reaping the Graves. He could have another Fairy Macabre though. And we do have Harvest Pyre. Ghostly Flicker's basically dead. He's got 5 cards basically to 1, so very rough for us. This time he's seen way more cards than we have, and that's just the AK effect, the lack of AKs. Or Mole Drifters, or Seagate Oracles. Our selection stopped, multiple turns ago. Okay. If I can, I'd like to save the Harvest Pyre, but we might not have a choice. Okay. So what is he on? 2 Victim of Nights, an Oubliette, and Fairy Macabre, and a land now? Maybe. Alright, let's just throw this down. He's gonna kill it, but... And I'm not going for the Ghostly Flicker evoke thing. I think it's a little too ambitious. It's pretty clear that he's got multiple instant speed removal spells. So if he wants to use them, that's his prerogative. There's a Victim, okay. We're at equal time here. Looking like I'm probably going to use the Harvest Pyre, but I'll wait till his end step. Make sure that that's a good idea. If he has Shinobi too, it's something I probably want to kill. Yep. Alright, I'll add red. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake. I thought we were going to phases or whatever. So we kill this. Quick as we can. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play around good old mutagenic growth. Not sure what he could have here. So he's actually slower on time now. I'm not sure if he's just thinking about stuff or... Alright, play this. We have Ghostly Flicker on tap. Which might piss him off if he goes for a kill spell. Now he's thinking. Okay, so that's a second Victim of Night. And we're bouncing the blue land to try and get around stuff. So if this resolves, I think I draw 4 cards here. It's gonna really hurt him. Hey, wow, everything we could want. Alright, we might just beat him with beatdown at this point. I think he's gonna flashback Chainer's Edict, but what are you gonna do? So I'll just click. Boom, boom, boom. He has one more Edict in hand. Ooh, there's Peregrine Drake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Yeah, let's just double up on this. This might be a little silly, but and I'm gonna Oracle before I AK just to. Oh, that was actually wrong. While this is on the stack, I'm gonna AK. I want to see the 2 cards to give me the best amount of information to Oracle with. Oh, it's only 1 card? Oh, he killed my AK from earlier. I'm pretty sure he killed that. I don't think I did. Okay, this is still looking alright. If he has a 3rd Edict in hand, I think I'm going for the counter. Because I think now we're just going to try and kill with damage. Okay, sacking that, sure. We only need another Archaeomancer to go infinite. Nothing. I'll go for the attack first. Okay, he's definitely in trouble because we're now snowballing. Snowball effect really coming into play here. And we have the Archaeomancer, but I would love to get some counterspell backup for that. So we have the whole kill. We're ready to go. And, I mean, he could have Fairy Macabre. But this might actually force him to play a Fairy Macabre. Okay, this looks big. Oh, it's Chainer's Edict. We'll let Chainer's Edict resolve. I mean, basically we just need to protect our combo at this point. Another untapped land would be pretty sweet, but I don't think that's going to matter. I think we have enough mana to do everything we want. So now we just kill you. He's tapped out, so the only thing he could have here is... I'm not even going to play the land right now. Is Fairy Macabre. So he either has it or he doesn't. We've got the whole kill going. Okay, looks like he doesn't. So we just do the same thing we did before, and the game is over. The only hope he has is us timing out, but I'm going to do everything in my power not to time out. Okay, maybe he has it. Fairy Macabre, yes, no. If he has it, better use it. I'm kind of hoping I'm not timing out here. We're also very close to just getting him with regular damage off of this. So I'm not sure what the holdup is, but no, he's got it. Okay. So that doesn't work, and we'll just pick up Mole Drifter off the top. We could have picked up an Archaeomancer, but that's okay. Actually, maybe we should have. We have 1, 5, 6, 7, 8 worth of Rolling Thunder damage. It's probably safer just to beat down and leave up counter spells and not just tap all the way out. I mean, he could have something here, so we might as well just take this route. and cover our butts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Double counter is up. We could play that, but I'd rather just leave up double counter since we clearly have a win on our hands. Multiple ways you slice it. Yep, we can certainly win through that. Alright, this was not pretty, but it got real good for us around turn 16, I want to say. We really started picking up steam, hitting, I think Muldrifter was the catalyst, really. And that into the Ghostly Flicker, that was disgusting. Disgusting. Alright, so he only has 2 cards in hand, whatever the heck this is. Yeah, we're perfectly fine here. He's at 6, so we have 2 counters for whatever he's got. And that's that. We even had the Rolling Thunder as a backup. So that looked pretty good. That is probably the best match I've played with this type of deck. I haven't played very many, I gotta be honest. When Drake first got released, I'd messed with it a little bit, particularly in Tron decks and stuff. But I honestly have not played much of Blue-Red Drake at all. You probably could count the number of matches on your 2 hands. But that looked pretty good, and I can see why people have been winning with it. So I guess we're doing one more, aren't we? Alright, well, stay tuned for that. Thank you. Alright, students, welcome to the final round here. Unfortunately, we had some recording issues, so this is actually going to be a replay that we're going to watch. We're on the play with the same deck, obviously, Peregrine Drake, for the win, question mark. And this looks keepable. I imagine we'll keep it and try and preordain our way into victory. Opponent keeps 7 as well. We wish each other good luck and all that good stuff. We're going to preordain, try and find a blue source. So let's see what we find. Boom. We see Cliffs and AK. And I definitely take the Cliffs. And I believe I take the AK as well, just so I have something to do on my next turn. Let's see if that's true. I actually bottomed the AK, so why would I have done that? I'm playing Cliffs next turn, so I guess there's not a lot of time for me to get the AK into action. However, on turn 3 I could have left it up, but I chose not to. So we'll try and speed through things a little bit. Okay, we see a Wellspring, so we basically see that our opponent is either Clodoth Jeskai, maybe just Boros. We play at Cliffs, we're drawing a bunch of lands now. I think maybe I was a little concerned about an aggressive strategy coming into play, and so I wanted to find removal or something. So I let the Thraben Inspector live. We have a Archaeomancer that can eventually bounce off of it, and we want to protect ourselves against Clodoth Rebirth or something. I draw a Flame Slash, so I decided to use it instead of incrementally taking damage for a time. And opponent breaks the Clue token there. Now, we don't have much else going on, so I imagine I counter this. We have Peregrine Drake into Archaeomancer if we want it. He fires off a Mortuary Mire and casts Clodoth Rebirth. So that puts us in a bit of a spot. We want to get on the board to protect ourselves. I don't see why I wouldn't play Drake, so we do. Probably going to play Archaeomancer and either preordain with it or Flame Slash. We'll just quickly go through my turn here. Yeah, preordain. Oh, so we saw a land and a Flame Slash with the preordain. I think I kept the Flame Slash and bottomed the land. Yeah, it makes sense to me. So we're really just trying to stabilize here. Opponent kills my whole board, makes a Thraben Inspector. And so now I think we're going to... I don't know what we're going to do here. We're actually getting a counter spell. And I don't play the Mortuary Mire yet. Interesting decision. I think I'm trying to protect myself against removal here. So he's got 4 cards in hand. and he's not playing a lot of stuff, so they're either lands or it could be just a lot of burn. I decided instead of playing the Chain Lightning game, where I would have been able to take out 2 of his creatures, he would have done 6 damage to me just off of the Chain Lightning alone. As you see, he's still got a bunch of burn here. He's crashing me down, and I draw it. Rolling Thunder, perfect draw off the top. I think I'm going to mire my Archaeomancer now. So that does a few things for me. And you notice I didn't even play it. That gives me the option of getting Thunder back if I can combo. It also lets me maybe get a counter spell or preordain. But because this is my only Archaeomancer left, I'm waiting to play it, because if I play it and it dies, I can't combo. And if I get the wrong thing with it, it just makes it harder to win later. Now he's going to put me in a situation where I basically am going to have to use it, because he's going all he's going all Mortuary Mire on me. So I decided just to get the Rolling Thunder right now. To use my mana, I don't want to fall behind in this instance. So he replays the Thraben that he got back with Mire, starts going off, but doesn't really do anything. So now we're just having a staring contest. He's got a Glindhawk, which I let resolve because I have Rolling Thunder for both of these guys. And I decide that it's just better for me to use the Rolling Thunder. Instead of trying to do a combo kill, I'm going to try and win this game with Mole Drifters and Peregrine Drakes in the air. So I decided to use the Rolling Thunder because I'm falling too far behind there. He's got another Glintehawk, which I'm probably going to bolt. He's just doing what the deck does. You notice he's clearly Boros here, not Jeskai. And we opt not to bolt him yet, just in case we get some other options. We didn't get any other options. Here I'm actually going to counterspell the Journey so that I can stay on the board and that I can do something with Ghostly Flicker, but it's too late. He had a bunch of burn. I know it went kind of fast, but he saw 3 Gallop Blasts that game, and he had a bolt as well. He saw 3 lightning bolts and a chain lightning, so he saw a lot of burn with his draws. As you notice, he actually got 11 cards deeper in his deck than we did. Not very good for us. That's pretty bad. So I can't really tell you how I sideboarded too much. I definitely wanted to keep a lot of board control around. We can pause real quick. Sorry for going so fast, but I brought in 1 Electrickery for Kuldotha Rebirth, and he also showed us Lone Missionary. So we should have some targets for it, and it's just a 1-of. I imagine I cut something like Dispel, maybe some number of Counterspell, so that I could get more board control. I think I've got some Hydro Blasts in the deck, and just more removal in general. We'll see what we actually... So I kept a land there. I must have gotten rid of the Preordain, or it doesn't really matter because I am going to sack. I guess I didn't want the other... Oh no, I kept both actually, as you can see, and I decided not to sack. Wanted both cards. And what did I do with that Preordain? I kept both cards there, but I didn't see what it was. Sorry, I kind of sped through that, but we're killing stuff, we're preordaining. I guess I kept more removal, as you can see. Hitting all my land drops. I'm actually letting this Inspector live. I'm not entirely sure why. I think I'm a little concerned about him having some type of Stone Rain, so I have up Ghostly Flicker if I need it. I'm not too afraid to take 1 damage, but I think I'm going to end up killing the Inspector now. I probably should have just done it right away. I was getting a little too precious about my Flame Slashes. So he's just doing a bunch of stuff. Yeah, we kill it. We're going to kill this as well. And I thought for a long time about whether I should use the Lightning Bolt or the Flame Slash. I decided the instant speed was going to be better than the 4 toughness. They really aren't playing creatures with 4 toughness that I know of. Even if they're playing Sanctifiers or Sanctum Gargoyle, they kind of cap off at 3. We see that he's got Relic, and Relic's actually going to hurt us a bit. We have Ghostly Flicker and Archaeomancer, and Relic is just going to get in the way of that. So we burn that. we're gonna play Archaeomancer. He actually counters it with the Pyroblast, and I was looking to get a preordain with the Archaeomancer. That's why I held back the island, and now we're kind of just empty. You know, we're empty-handed. We're not seeing any oracles, mole drifters, AKs. It's kind of like the first game where he saw way more cards than us, just not hitting any of our draw. So does that mean I may have made some bad choices with my preordains? I may have made some bad choices with my keeps. Maybe even the deck composition is off. So those are all things to think about here. And he's just going crazy. I mean, we're way behind at this point. He's seen 36 cards, or he's got 36 cards left in library, and we have 42. Now he has 33, and he's got two guys on the board that are taking out, and now he's got us. He's just got all the burn. I counter one, he counters back, and he's got me. I mean, it's really that simple. We fell behind for just a couple turns there, and that's all they really need to run away with it. I mean, the 4 damage in the air, not easy to block, and that's a good 20% of the life total. So this is an example of us just kind of getting steamrolled by a deck that's not that fast. So I would say this is probably not something you're going to see happen very often if you're playing Izzet Drake. But I need to go back and look at my list and kind of tune it a little better, obviously, because we have the news that Peregrine Drake is not being banned in Pauper. So this may be something I return to. I may do different color combinations or try it out in Tron. If you have any preference, you can always let me know. But this is going to conclude our Izzet Drake hooliganism. I don't know if that's a word. I'd like to thank you very much for tuning in to this installment of... That's right, Dime a Dozen.